Morning, everyone. For those who don't know who Kermit and Fozzie are, that's what this video is. So, good morning, everybody. Almost open enrollment. We're getting there. You got 1, 2.
Hey, Chris, your hair looks nice today.
Oh, well, thanks. I finally found a way to kind of round brush it. Hairdressers are always doing stuff that you're like, can't do yourself. So somebody gave me great advice on how to do it.
You need to share. None of us can use a round brush.
What she said was blow dry it this way and then blow dry it as you're combing it. So it was like, oh, all right, there we go. And then of course you can kind of round brush the top, but it worked well. You got people joining. We're right at the top of the hour. I love Big Bird. Anyways, we are talking today about classes. So much fun. It won't take that long. And then I got some other things I'm going to clarify and explain. I really like my Fozzie and Kermit. They are. I saw this picture at an art show and I couldn't stop looking at it because it just makes me smile. So I was like, gotta have it. My husband, who was supposed to stop me from buying art, didn't do a very good job. He walked away and I went, well, that's on you, Dad, there, honey. So anyways, so today we're talking about classes. I'm also going to do a little clarification on renewals. And then one of the other things I really want to explain so that you can understand this, it will make your life so much easier. And you can share this advice with other agents, is how the whole system works. So kind of the flow. It comes from years of doing this and mistakes and conversations with carriers. So if you understand how it works, it will save you and all kinds of issues. I've actually run into problems with not knowing how that system works. You can kind of mess things up. And the sad thing is, the people in the system don't always know how it works either. So, so we'll go over that. A couple more people join in. I know many of you, not all of you, have been to my YouTube channel. I have on there, the whole reason my company, Next Step Insurance, even has a YouTube channel is because I was trying to educate my clients. And the first one I did, pretty sure it was the very first one, was how to make a Health Sherpa account. Like, so I mean, I made a fake account. I didn't use anybody's real, but I used an email and I showed them, all right, this is what happens. And I kind of, was filming my screen, which I had to search, how do I even do that? And so I filmed my screen as I made a Health Sherpa account. And then I walked people through it. This is what's happening. This is what the email will look like. Look, it's probably in your junk folder. And sent that out to everybody because it was new. That was when Health Sherpa, I finally was using Health Sherpa because it was free. And we got good response from that. I mean, it was at the time and still is one of the higher watched videos. Now I did it condensed, I did it really quick. I tried to make it simple and showing how to do it, like actually videotaping my screen and then send it to your clients. And that was like, all right, we had a really good response from that. Now I educate people in my office when they're talking to me, I educate them on the phone. My agents educate them. What does the marketplace mean? All of that stuff. But it's the ongoing, it's the renewals, because your first year renewal people are gonna go, I gotta do something, I gotta do something, what am I doing, what am I doing? And they're all nervous, they get really, really anxious, and they're concerned because one, they're getting a ton of emails from healthcare.gov and Health Sherpa, and they're getting the renewal notices from their carrier, and they're getting stuff, they see the news, rates are going up, everything's making them anxious, and it's their very first open enrollment. And so they want to make sure that they don't miss anything. By educating them every fall, I help alleviate a lot of that issues. So start, having that right now is great. This is how it does it. People will be happy. Now, not all of them are going to look at your educational stuff. That's fine. But think of something really simple that you can share. And put them in small bites. One of the things about today's generation, and it's not just our kids, it's us too, we're so used to fast. Like, we'll watch something for 3 minutes. Great, now it's 10, and you're going, is this over yet, right? But you'll watch 20 3-minute videos, which is more than 10 minutes, but because it's going from video to video to video, they'll watch it more. So that's my own, I've been looking for that personally, figuring that out. So I took, so I have like quick little bits. Here's what a max out of pocket is, 2 minutes or less. What's a deductible? 2 minutes or less. What's a copay? 2 minutes or less. Make it down to the most simple component. What does a copay mean? It should not take you 5 minutes. They just want a quick soundbite. If you want examples, you can look on my YouTube channel. I have one that's just about definitions. So you can start simple. I'm not saying you have to do what I do, but start with some kind of education for your clients, because it's really nice when somebody goes, what's the difference between a deductible and a max out of pocket? And instead of me typing this long explanation in an email, I can go, hey, I made a quick little video about it, and I can just send it to them. I'm putting it back on them instead of them trying to read a paragraph, because I'm telling you, they're not going to read the paragraph, and they're going to get confused by the paragraph, and they're still going to come back and go, I don't understand. So if you have these little small things of education, it helps them become educated. They end up trusting you because you're the one who's, you're not the expert who's keeping all your expert information to yourself. You're sharing it with them. They're not going to get fooled by the no contact agents. They're not going to get fooled by those carriers that are trying to kind of give them the bare minimum. So I do a class, I've done in the past 2 different types of classes. This year I'm only doing 1, but we may go back to doing the 2. I do a class that's just re-explaining what is the marketplace, what is the tax credit, and why does any of this apply. I've done this class for accountants. I've done it for financial advisors, because some of them still don't understand. And if you want to reach out to financial advisors and accountants, they are beautiful partners. They know that health insurance now is a part of what they have to plan for financial. They know they have to plan this for retirement. And we have, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 different financial advisors that send people to us. And it's not a quid pro quo. We're not sending it back. I'm very clear to all financial advisors that we don't send people to one person. I'm never going to say this is the person to do it. This is the person to go to. So, for whatever reason, make sure you let them know, hey, if somebody needs a financial advisor, I'm happy to give them your name, but I also give them 2 others. I always give at least 2, if not 3 referrals for anything. I don't care if it's property and casualty. I don't care if it is an accountant. I'm always giving them choices, just like we give them choices for what to enroll in. Right? And I've not had any financial advisors who've been upset by that. So you can do classes for them, for accountants, saying, hey, I just want to make sure you guys understand how this works so that you can plan for your clients. But then also for your clients, how does the marketplace work? What's the tax credit? And I do those classes, and then I broke them down into simple sound bites, the whole class into like 5-minute segments. What is the MAGI? Which, if some of you may have seen, I've put it a lot on the Marketplace Master, where people are going, what's income? What income should I use? I'm just going, boom, here's my video. Boom, here's my video. Boom, here's my video. And if you do that for your clients, It makes you the expert. So make sure you understand it really well. And then do that. I also, so that's one class that we host just in the year saying, all right, if you want a refresher, if you want to remember why we were asking your income, all that stuff, here's the class.
Hey,
The
Chris,
other class, yes.
one of the things, and I was just talking about it with our other agent, John, 10 minutes ago, honestly, about people sending us with financial advisors and everything else was, yeah, I am going to do that. Just let them know because you're my boss and go, hey, we're going to send 2-3 people as rep to 2 different financial people. But if you send somebody my way, I'm going to make you look awesome, you know, because we know our stuff. I'm going to squeeze them in and then you can tell them, hey, I've got a guy, I've got my insurance person and they are going to hook you up. And then it helps them look good. It helps us look good. And one time I got one person in, worked 30 minutes late, and that guy has now sent me 15 referrals because I'm his insurance guy. I make him look good.
Correct. And if they know you, like you have a relationship with them, they're going to send people to you, you know, and then their person goes, wow, thank you for sending me to that person. They knew what they were talking about. It makes them look good. So it just, even if you don't give them clients, which there's a few we've gotten, you know, a lot of times, especially the early retirees, they already have financial people. But every once in a while, somebody really needs a financial advisor and I will go, all right, here's 3 people, you know, which, you know, they're all different personalities. I like them all, you know, you pick. But they're happy because it does, like Josh said, it makes them look good because they sent you, the expert, their client to an expert. I'm going to show you really quick, just in case you haven't seen this on my YouTube, because I know some of you have gone to specific YouTube, you know, just the thing that has just the stuff that's the ACA, doing ACA enrollments and tricks. So here's how I do it. And I'm by no means a YouTube expert. Some of you on here are probably better than me, but I made playlists. So I have one that was for agents that I could probably get rid of at this point. It was helping people decide if they should sell ACA or not. And I am yes, you should sell ACA. Clearly, I believe in the Affordable Care Act. Options, 2023 options and renewals. I'm going to close this out in the next week, and it's going to say 2024. But if you want to see what I did, take a look. This was, I did 2023. Now, I made 3 classes. I broke down my hour-long class to the smallest components in this, because again, this is a YouTube thing, not in person. And I brought them down to 11 minutes, a little over 11 and 16. It was the best I could do. But I had, you know, these are clients that looked at it. This is normally what I do in a whole class, like how to compare plans. I'm asking them to use Health Sherpa, so I'm showing them how to compare the plans. I show them how to update their Health Sherpa. I have a uncle that passed away a few years ago, and he's my person that I use to update. And I show him my screen. I put it on Health Sherpa and I put it on my screen and I videotape it. And how to find out more details of your health insurance. And for any of you new agents who are still trying to understand Health Sherpa, they have training materials. This will also help you, because I'm showing you really quickly, because I made it for clients. You know, I'm not trying to make clients experts, but I want them to be able to compare, and I show them how to compare. So that's a playlist. Marketplace, ACA tax credits. This is 7 classes or 7 videos, all from an hour-long class. This is actually what I do every year. So I have in-person and Zoom classes the last week of October. Now, October this year, we get Monday and Tuesday, the 30th and 31st. So that's when we're having our classes, and we actually are having some on the 1st. I personally never enroll anybody on the 1st or have appointments. I'm not saying I don't do applications, no appointments. Because if you've done this, you know that's when the system will give you this wheel of death and it's overwhelmed. There's millions of people trying to get in there. So I don't have any appointments. We just block off the 1st. And that is where we do some, where people have asked me to enroll. We've got their paperwork, or I'm looking at quotes, that kind of thing. But I'm having classes this year on the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st. And basically I'm walking them through. What is the ACA in the marketplace? I'm refreshing them. What does the Affordable Care Act mean? What does the marketplace mean? Health insurance changes. So I talk about what changes. new carriers into this area. So we got United Healthcare coming, but what does that even mean? It's an HMO and we don't have an HMOs, and I doubt they're going to be the cheapest. Some of the carriers have changed their plans, parts of their plans. So if there's something really obvious, like if you have 90% of your people in one carrier plan and they change something, talk about it. Understanding the modified adjusted gross income. This is the other one I send to a lot of people on the Marketplace Mastery and ACA training grounds, because it's 7 minutes and it's understanding the modified adjusted gross income. You got to understand that. You as the agent have to understand what the income is, what the government's looking for, or you're never going to be able to explain it. So make a video. Tax credit calculations. Then I explain the tax credit calculations. So the modified adjusted gross is just the income, why we need it, what income, where we're getting it from, and why it's there. Next video, 10 minutes long. How does the tax credit calculation get added? Those are people who make $500,000 and they're like, it's too expensive. Do you know they're paying less than the person who makes 40,000? Do you guys realize that? It means the tax credit isn't applied because the plan is already less than 8.5% of their income, the second cheapest silver. So people that make too much money to qualify for tax credit, I still sometimes go, unless they're super healthy, okay, I can get you some savings, but they're still paying less than 10%. And then they go, oh, okay. In fact, richer they are, they might be paying even less than 10%. They may be paying 3%, right? So they're still getting a benefit. In fact, in some ways, percentage-wise, their benefit's better. They're paying less than 8.5%. Understanding the CSRs. Fine print. This is those attestations. I have always gone through the attestations. Always. Even every class I do, I go, okay, this is what you're signing up for. This is your contract between the government and yourself. Now, with the attestation form, this is great. When I have my in-person class, everybody's going to have them. I have them sitting on my desk right here. When I am reading these attestations to people, I'm handing them this form. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to read them, explain what they mean. You click agree or disagree on the back, sign a date. And now I have my form. And yes, somebody did ask, what I sent you guys all last year had 2023, or last week I sent was 2023. I'm going to update for 2024, but make sure you update for 2024. So the fine print. And then explaining HSA plans. So I took the whole class that takes me about an hour in person, and I'm answering questions and I try to be funny. I'm not sure if I am, but I try, make people laugh, and I broke it down. This is actually how I practice for my classes. And we close out, we have 6 classes and we expect all of them to be completely full. The first one's already full. The second one is almost full. We have them in 2 different spots, and we also have them on Zoom. We have a place where we do classes that has a wonderful Zoom system set up. But the first year I did it, we did not have a wonderful Zoom system. You know what I did? I had my laptop set over to the side, and it was kind of facing me, and I still did it by Zoom. So do not think I got to have all this professionalism and the fancy mic. You don't. One of the coolest things I learned at a conference last year was 80% is fine. Don't worry about the 100%. You don't have to be 100% perfect. You don't have to be 100% ready to go. You don't have to have 100% of the perfect background and the camera equipment. 80% is fine. We live in especially nowadays, we live in an area where kids they take pictures of themselves nonstop. And they're not pretty. Like it's a thing on TikTok or something. I'm not sure. They just take a picture of themselves to show what they're doing. They're not making themselves look nice. Yes, you want to look professional. I'm not saying have food hanging off the corner of your mouth, right? Look around. Is there anything in your background that's distracting? If there is, that's fine. Explain why it's distracting. I have Kermit and Fozzie. Sometimes, you guys have seen my sign over here. There is always something to be thankful for. I put that behind me because people came into my office and complained. And I was tired of hearing them complain. And I put that in my office, and I can tell you the complaints went down. And they were complaining about, not stuff they should be complaining about. It wasn't like, oh, their health. I get it. All right. Your health. Okay. Tell me about your health, because that's what I'm here for. But they would complain about, my rate went up $20. And I'm like, that is nothing to be complaining about. Right. So I have this, and it does work. It sits behind me when because I sit this way, it sits behind me, and it totally works. And I worked really hard. I mean, I made it level. I had measurements, because now I'm going to be moving to a new office. And I'm like, dang it, I'm going to have to do this again with stencils, because I know if I'm the person staring at it, I'm going to go, oh, if it's not straight, or if the letters are weird, right? So I did my best. And that's all I'm saying is do your best. And if you want to send out, you don't have to do a class. I do a class, now, but this is like 4 years in a row that I've done classes. But do YouTube. Send it out to your clients, your current clients. I'm going to make life easier. Renews. I want to make sure you understand there's a lot of scams out there, and I want to make sure that you are educated, that you won't fall for the scams, and make some basic videos. You don't have to do a lot. If you want to look at mine, copy, feel free. It's out there. It's public content. I actually even go through. It's not on my public anymore. Page, but I will go through in each carrier for each county. So now I'm only in a few counties of Wisconsin, but I will say, all right, anybody in Sheboygan County, I send them that link. And I just talking about Sheboygan County. And then I talk about Fond du Lac County. And then I talk about Manitowoc County. And I do that, and I will tell you, it's a little stressful because I don't know when the rates are coming out, right? Nobody cares about the plans if they don't know what the rates are. So last year, I think I did it. Oh man, I think it was a night, 2 nights before classes. So I was up late. I was up late looking at them, going through them, comparing details, looking at the summary of benefits. This year I'm thinking, because we've got the weekend, that's all I care about. If we can have the rates out by the 27th of October, I will be ecstatic. If they come out a little bit earlier, it is kind of nice, but when they come out, your clients are going to know. Healthcare.gov sends them a thing that says the rates are out. So be prepared. In fact, that's usually how I find out the rates are out, is somebody will instantly call me. The rates are out. Okay. I said, yep, the rates are out. We still can't do anything until November 1st. The rates aren't real. Nothing's real until November 1st. But start looking, as soon as they're out, I start looking. I start making my PowerPoint. I have a PowerPoint now. I've created one. So now I can just change it and update it, make it look nice for 2024. So that's what I do. I do a class. I do YouTube. I started with YouTube. I didn't do a class first, but it helps educate your clients. We have, I think, our open enrollment under 65 retention is probably 98% year to year. We only lose people because they get employer coverage, they age into Medicare, and move. Other than that, very few people go somewhere else. I just posted on, somebody asked a question, is ACA worth it? And I went, absolutely. It's 100% worth it. And somebody said, but how do you keep your clients? This is how I keep my clients. I give them education. They're not going to go, I can do this on my own, now I'm leaving. And if they are, fine. You don't want that person. But most of them don't. They're like, yep, Thomas showed me how. All right, I'm sticking with Thomas. Great. He's my guy. Donna showed me. All right, Donna's my gal. I'm going to her. So they want to know that you're their educated person in their corner. All right. Second thing I wanted to talk about, clarifications on renewals from last week. The renewal, if you tell your clients, please go in and make sure your application is correct. I'm going to send you a link on November 1st from Health Sherpa, and all I'm asking is please make sure your application is correct. That's all they have to do. And most of them are going to say, sure. Now you will have some that are like, I'm afraid I'm going to break the internet. Okay. But if 80% of your clients go in there and update their application, you just reduced your workload a ton. And you don't have to get the attestation document because they're doing it themselves. So, that's a twofold, bonus. Still get consent. Just get your consent. As I said last week, send those suckers out right now. Do not wait, get those consent, because you want to have that consent to touch their application in a year, to enroll them, whatever. So if 80% of your clients do their application, and 80% of those people pick their own plan, now you've reduced your workload by half, if not more. I mean, you hardly have anything to do. Health Sherpa will send you a notice. Now I know Health Sherpa sends a lot of notices, but this is the time of year you really want to pay attention. It's going to tell you that somebody started an application. All right. Did they finish the application? Sometimes they went in and then they got stuck. All right, give it a day or two. Maybe they were looking at the income, but if they haven't, you might want to call them or email. Hey, I saw you started the application. Did you run into issues? Sometimes it's the weird system. I mean, you know, a few million people across the country are trying to do this at the same time, and the system can get weird. So they may have just stopped thinking they broke something and it wasn't anything to do with them. You can say, they're like, oh yeah, I was, and I was looking for my income. Oh, okay. Let me know if you need any help. Or yeah, I did, and I ran into an issue. It wouldn't let me go any further. You can go in right to their application where they were done. Especially if you get them on the phone, like, all right, let's just talk on the phone really quick. It looks like you did this and this. All right, let's get you enrolled. They've done most of the work for you. It's great. If they click their plan, you'll get a notice. So you're going to get two. You get a notice that somebody started their application, and you get a notice when somebody's enrolled in a plan. I look at what they enrolled in. Is it the right plan? I look, what did they have last year? Did they enroll in the same plan? If they enrolled in the same plan and there's no reason for them not to enroll in the same plan, because maybe they enroll in the same plan and the carrier's got a better plan that's cheaper, or maybe it's better, but it's only a few bucks more, you can email them and say, I see, Gary, that you enrolled in the plan. Everything looks great, but just letting you know there was another plan with that carrier that's for 20 bucks more gives you this benefit. Or for $20 less does this. But if what you have is happy, you're great. And they will email you back. No, I'm good. Oh yeah, for 20 bucks more of that extra benefit, sign me up. So then you can just quickly go in there and hit change plans. So if you have to kind of pay attention to those emails from Health Sherpa. Normally I'm sticking them in, you know, everything goes into this folder and I never look at them, but it's open enrollment. So now I got to bring them out so I can look at them. Even if it's like, all right, every night from 5 to 6 o'clock at night, that's what you're doing, you know, okay, I'm just going to look at the Health Sherpa ones every night at a certain time so you can respond to people. So that's how I do renewals. And I'm trying to get it to 80% consistently. Now, I did just ask Health Sherpa this morning because I wanted to share it with you. 2 years ago during open enrollment, when people renewed themselves and it would show up all their options, their current plan was at the top of the list. It would say, here's your current plan updated for 2023 or 2022, actually. And people could easily click it. Last year, it didn't do that. It would say, here's your plan, but you had to scroll to find it. And people aren't always tech savvy, right? They're looking for a silver CSR, but they got to go through they're scrolling through all the bronzes, and sometimes they get frustrated and they just don't know where to pick it. That's one of the other things you can educate people. All right, when you fill out the application, if you want to just see what your current plan is, on the left, the name of your company, find it. Just click that, and that will help narrow it down. And then you'll see in Health Sherpa, it'll say this is your plan. The more people I can get to select it themselves, the better. But I have had people that obviously got frustrated and just clicked the first one. The $0 one. That was a horrible, horrible plan when they actually should be in a silver CSR. That's why you want to touch them, right? You really want to make sure they're in the correct plan. And then I'm going to explain the why, the hub, the how this all works. So I keep seeing this question, a recent one in Health, I don't remember which one it was, Training Ground or on Marketplace Mastery, but somebody said, I typoed somebody's birth date incorrectly. I corrected it. Health Sherpa shows it correct, healthcare.gov does, but the carrier doesn't. What to do? And somebody said, call the carrier. Nope, you cannot call the carrier. So I want you to picture a big bubble, healthcare.gov. Everything goes through healthcare.gov. Health Sherpa, Insura, whatever enrollment platform, everything they do comes from healthcare.gov and goes to healthcare.gov. It doesn't go around it. It doesn't skip it. Healthcare.gov is the center of everything. So Health Sherpa is bound by the rules of healthcare.gov. Healthcare.gov is stupid. It's not a smart system. It's 1990s technology. It's so bad. There's a reason why the attestation thing, you know, like there could be easier things for us to do to, you know, make sure that somebody really wants this. They can't. Not because Health Sherpa doesn't have this technology, because healthcare.gov doesn't. So healthcare technology is still very old. It really is like 1997 technology. That's where everything comes from. So Health Sherpa sends it, you know, or healthcare.gov sends it to Health Sherpa or Insura or whoever, the information. If the information is wrong at healthcare.gov, it's wrong at Health Sherpa. That's why you cannot trust the looking for doctors and prescriptions on Health Sherpa. Not because Health Sherpa, they have no control over it. It's because healthcare.gov is incorrect. And we have no idea why healthcare.gov is incorrect. They haven't been correct ever, not once. The carriers were like, we give them our doctor list and we don't know what they do with it. So sometimes, usually about middle of the year, they're somewhat accurate, but I still would never trust it. Until healthcare.gov updates their system, we are bound by their old antiquated technology. Health Sherpa had to do so much bridging and work to get this modern, current, up-to-date technology of Health Sherpa to work with healthcare.gov. So everything goes to healthcare.gov. Then you have the insurance carriers below healthcare.gov. So you update it at Health Sherpa, it goes to healthcare.gov, then it goes to the carriers. Healthcare.gov has 2 weeks to submit the document, the information to Health Sherpa or to the carriers. And then the carriers take however long they take to update their system. The carriers cannot update healthcare.gov. They can't put a new name. You know, if somebody gets married, they can't change an address. They can't fix the birth date. The only thing the carriers can send to healthcare.gov is terminations after they've missed their grace window. Now, the reason I know this is because I have a very small little company that I have a great relationship with. And I asked them, I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. And they said, well, what happens is, and they learned, the carriers learned this the hard way as well. Somebody would call, hey, I moved. I'm calling my insurance company. Hey, insurance company, here's my new address. And the insurance company would go, okay. And they would type it in the system. Healthcare.gov actually sends the packet of information to the carriers on a consistent, continual basis. It's not a one and done. We did the application, they send it and they're done. Nope, they are sending that packet of information non-stop. So as soon as the carrier updates it, a week later, healthcare.gov puts the information in and overrides everything the carrier does. So if you need to change anything, and I tell my clients this, if we need to change anything about you, we have to tell the government first, healthcare.gov, who will then tell the carrier. If you need to terminate it, you can't terminate it from your carrier. If you need to change your address, if you need to change a birth date, you got divorced, anything has to go to the government first, then to the carriers. If you call the carrier, you know what they're going to say? Call healthcare.gov. And of course, if your client calls the carrier and they're told by the insurance carrier, call healthcare.gov, what is your client doing? Calling healthcare.gov. And we don't want them to go healthcare.gov. We want them to call us. And so that's that educating. So educate your clients on how the system works, and hopefully you understand how the system works. It really is healthcare.gov, the antiquated system that it is the hub for everything. Someday, it'll happen. Maybe they'll update that system. Until they update that system, the CMS rules of the attestations and consent is going to be on us as agents, because the system, somebody got a lot of money. Let me just tell you, a lot of money to not make a site, and then went, oh, this Affordable Care Act thing is actually going to happen. Crap, I better throw a site together. And that's kind of what happened. And we've been stuck with that site since 2013. So think that first. If there's information that the carrier needs to get, you have to tell the government first. You have to update the application. And Health Sherpa, Insura, all of those third-party platforms are bound by healthcare.gov. Any questions on that? So I'm gonna look over at my chat. Sharing self-duplication videos saves times for you and the client. Yep. It's great. If you've done it once, you can just redo it for 2024, you know. Rosalind's starting a health insurance YouTube channel, and these are topics you're talking about. That's great. I mean, people need this stuff and they're used to videos. They want it. The name of my channel is Next Step Insurance. That's my insurance company. And if you look at the playlist, you can see all the different things that I have on there. So look up Next Step Insurance. Rosalind, as long as people can hear you, you don't need fancy equipment. It's correct. And nowadays computer systems are great. You know, I have a new fancy camera. It's the kind that you can look at, that I can move on the screen. And I have a mic now, but that was more to help me with background noise. But I didn't have that. Just start out, you know. Thanks, Lori, for sticking my channel in there. Renee, where in Health Sherpa do we get this renewal link? So on November 1st, you're going to see it. Actually, sometimes they send it to you that you can see it on the 30th and 31st. I don't like sending it out earlier because people then think they can renew. And all they can do is kind of look. They can update their application as early as Health Sherpa sticks that renewal button. But it is, I mean, it'll be really obvious when you log onto your Health Sherpa account. It will have it. There'll be a button that says renew, and you can click and you can select all your clients, and you can send an email, and you can customize your email. It doesn't have to be what they say. They pop up a thing and they go, here's what we're going to send, and you can change it. You can put your own little message in there, and then that sends out to everybody. I do know some people that don't do it that way. They like to copy the link and send it from their personal email, but I don't got time for that. You know, I got something like 3,000 applications in there. We don't have time to send out 3,000 individual emails. So I just use Health Sherpa, and it's been fine. I've been doing that for any number of time. Are there refresher meetings for Health Sherpa? Health Sherpa has lots of training. So talk to Health Sherpa. They want you to work with them. And like I said, if you go to my playlist and look at the Health Sherpa information one, it's only 3 videos. That one is actually going to give you a real basics on how to do it. So everything goes through healthcare.gov unless it's off exchange plan. Correct, because that's not on the exchange, but you're not using healthcare.gov. Christina, do I do covered California? I do not. I don't actually do any of the state exchange plans right now. I don't know that I ever will, but my plan for next year is to get some more experts and have them be guest speakers for the different states. Virginia just went to a state exchange, Georgia, and you know, those are fun the first time. So I don't work with any of the state-based marketplaces. If all the state bases were the same, that'd be great, but they are not. Every single one is different. Yep. And remember, Jill said, thanks for the information about contacting healthcare.gov for all changes, but don't contact healthcare.gov, do it on Health Sherpa. Everything you do, if you call healthcare.gov to update somebody's information, all they're doing is clicking update the application. That's all they're doing. They're doing exactly what you would do. And at least if you do it, you have control. You know your name's on it. You know everything's correct. And remember, I've said this before. My habit is at the end, if I'm updating an application for any reason, I say they're losing coverage at the end of the month. It then lets you reselect the plan. Because I think sometimes we may update something, but it doesn't actually transfer correctly. So I always say they're losing coverage at the end of the month. No, it does not cause any issues. It never has, not since the beginning. It doesn't ask for proof of documents. If they are current clients on healthcare.gov or Health Sherpa, if you say they're losing coverage, the system just goes, okay, pick a plan. And you put them back in the same plan and everything continues the same. It doesn't start new deductibles. It doesn't do anything like that. It just lets you make sure that everything you just changed is going into effect immediately for 11/1 or the following month. So Richard, so when someone is coming off of ACA onto Medicare mid-year, How do we best cancel their ACA plan? So Scott, if it's single person, we have notes on the first of the month, we just go in there and cancel it for the end of the month. You go in there, you hit terminate, you put the last day of the month, and it's good. If there's 2 people on the plan, hopefully, remember, put the oldest person or the person who's going on Medicare first as secondary. If they are going on Medicare, you go into the application, unclick the person who needs Medicare, go through the application and say they're losing coverage at the end of the month. It's my little trick, and this doesn't work at healthcare.gov, this works at Health Sherpa. It's my little trick to make the fact that you just changed it, that 2 people are now going to be 1, will go in effect the first of the month. If you call healthcare.gov or your client calls healthcare.gov, they end it the day they call. And I used to have to do this. The last day of the month was, I don't care where I was, Saturday on vacation, last day of the month, I was at, making sure people were terminated. The system is antiquated, still broke. This is one of the few things Health Sherpa can do, and I don't know how, and I'm thankful that it is good. Go in there, I usually, sometime around the 5th or 6th of the month, and I go in and I say, Bob and Ruth is no longer needing coverage, I just unclick it. And then go through the application and state that Bob is losing coverage at the end of the month. Then it just says, okay, for the next month, Ruth is off, Bob is on. The reason I say you want to have the Medicare person list second, whoever's going on Medicare first, is because if the Medicare person is the primary person, what happens is that actually completely terminates the coverage. And it creates a new username, new ID number from the insurance carrier. It resets their deductible and max out of pocket. Now, I'm not going to promise all carriers, but most carriers understand this is a glitch. You can contact them. Hey, whatever was applied to the max out of pocket over here, please move it so it applies to this out of pocket here. But their auto pay no longer works and their member number is no longer the same. So really get into that habit of making sure that whoever's going on Medicare first is listed second. Arlene, how do we communicate with Marketplace for clients unless they have called and given us permission to call on their behalf? Arlene, that's why I don't do healthcare.gov anymore. That's what Health Sherpa is for. You don't want to call healthcare.gov. Health Sherpa is so much faster, so much more accurate, and you can see what's happening. You can call healthcare.gov and I've seen typos come from them. Why? Because they're human. I've done typos, so have they. But if you're doing it, you can see what's happening. Brian, I had a client that didn't listen to me. She called healthcare.gov. She was looking for dental only. They illegally placed her and family in a whole new plan. I spoke with the supervisor who didn't do anything. How do we hold these people somewhat accountable? Yep. You really can't. You can change it going forward. This is another thing to know about healthcare.gov. You cannot fix anything in the past. The only way to fix anything in the past is to call healthcare.gov with your client and open up an escalation. Anything that's going to be in the future, you can fix. Please don't call healthcare.gov. Don't even ask Health Sherpa. I'm telling you, even Health Sherpa doesn't understand how this works, and carriers don't necessarily understand how this works. You should be the expert. Don't call healthcare.gov. If it's the future, somebody, hey, they got a Medicaid denial and I need to put them on the plan for 11-1, just go in there, update the application. These 2 people, these 2 kids are denied Medicaid. It won't even ask for proof of that. You just click the button, denied Medicaid. Hey, they had a letter. And then it just puts them on, but it only goes forward. You can even fix it on the last day of the month, as long as it's going forward, but you cannot fix anything in the past. The only thing you can fix in the past is putting a baby on, and that's not really fixing anything. That's the only thing in the retro that we can do as agents. Otherwise, it's always forward. So I wish we could hold them accountable. I've had to take it. I mean, there was definitely somebody at healthcare.gov did the air terminated a guy by accident, and he had a lot of medical expenses due to some eye shots that we needed to get turned on. And I had to go all the way to the federal appeals court, believe it or not. And that judge was kind of like, yeah, clearly this was an error, put it back. So that's the only way if it really messed them up and you didn't catch it in time. Otherwise, if it's in the future, just fix it. Jill, I'm assuming you mean to redirect on Health Sherpa to make big changes we can't make on Health Sherpa. The only thing you can't fix is the primary care or the primary person listed. You can't change their date of birth and social security. So yes, if the primary person that you listed has the wrong social security number or date of birth, the only way to fix that is to do a redirect. But other than that, you can do everything at Health Sherpa. Virginia's scary. Yeah, I've heard your workflow is just crazy, so may the odds be ever in your favor for those of you who do Virginia, because yeah, I've been hearing some rough stuff. You can change a birth date on Health Sherpa and that will go to the marketplace. Correct. Unless it's the primary person, then there's a little button. Does everybody know what we're talking about when we say the redirect? Arlene says no. Is anyone else? I'm going to show you really quick. So, and again, Arlene, I know you're new to Health Sherpa. They'll teach you some of this training. Before I share my screen, I gotta make sure you can't see anything. No personal information of clients. All right, I'm going to do a screen share really quick here. So here is my Health Sherpa. So here's the easiest way to get to it is search for an application, which when you're on your dashboard is up here on the top right. You click search for an application. Scroll here, healthcare.gov redirect. So healthcare.gov redirect, if you click that, and it still wants you, like, do you really want to? Yep, I do. You pick the state, I'm Wisconsin. It will now take you to healthcare.gov, where you will use your CMS username and password. If you don't put in the right username and password, you'll get the page that looks like just the normal healthcare.gov page. Your username and password was incorrect. And I can tell you right now, I think you get 2, maybe 3 tries, and then it's locked. And this system won't tell you it's locked. Because again, antiquated 1997 technology, healthcare.gov is dumb, it's not a smart system. So so if you do this and you get taken to just healthcare.gov, that means your username and password was incorrect. Go back, you're gonna have to hit this back screen, get back to Health Sherpa. If it's correct, this is what you get. Welcome agents and brokers. So it's your cms.gov username and password, the same one you use for your FFM training. And then here you can type in their information. If you ever have a weird glitch at Health Sherpa, like the system, the application's not going through. Maybe you did the whole application and it says we're having issues. Instead of worrying about it, instead of redoing it over and over on Sherpa, just do the redirect. It means there's a glitch. And a glitch at healthcare.gov. But Health Sherpa doesn't tell you there's a glitch because they don't really know. Because remember, computer systems, right? It's not a smart system telling you what's happening. But I can tell you right now it's a glitch. And I've seen it. So then you just go do the redirect. Come here, type in their name. Check that you've gotten permission, search. It'll pull them up. And then you can update their application literally at healthcare.gov. And then often you'll see where it is. There'll be something really weird on there and you're like, what? Okay, Health Sherpa and healthcare.gov were talking correctly. There was a glitch in the matrix. And then once you finish the application, and it's a little bit different order, so if you were not familiar with healthcare.gov, you might have to pay attention. You might actually have to read all the questions because it's not exactly the same as Health Sherpa. But follow along. It's the same questions. It's not going to be weird. It's not like it's asking you stuff you don't know. This is where you can change date of births and socials for the main person. It's also where you can fix glitches. You go through the whole application and then it will take you back to Health Sherpa. And I go over an example of 500K versus 40K getting CSRs and how. I can, Donna, I will tell you on my YouTube video, the CSR one will explain those CSRs the best. So, because it's actually, in fact, my video, I think it's like 7.
Good answer.
Oh my God. Here's my playlist. I will send it to you because honestly, the CSRs are kind of complicated. And it's only for certain. Share. There we go. I'm going to copy. So Donna, I'm putting it in right now. This YouTube video is about those CSRs and why you may get them. Oh, my YouTube's starting. All right. That YouTube is going to really explain those CSRs. You're not going to get one at a certain income level. You're just not going to get cost sharing reductions. There's 3 levels of cost sharing reductions. The lowest level has the best plans. The second level has pretty good plans. The third level, at least in our area, aren't very good. The bronze $0 deductible copay plans are actually better than the silver CSR in the third level. But watch that video. You're gonna understand it a little bit more. Can we take someone off a plan retro? Nope, can't do anything retro. You can term it as of this moment, but you can't go anything retro. You don't, Brian, you don't think you've ever used healthcare.gov? Is it really that bad? It is, but it has a pretty face now. So I don't know how many, probably not too many agents here are familiar when 23, 24, 25, 26. It was one question, one page. Then it go to the next question. And then it go to the next question. And then if you had a family of 4 kids, so a family of 6, it would ask, is this child in charge of this child for any of these reasons? And then you'd go no, and then it would ask it for each kid, and then it would switch and ask it for each kid. And so, oh my goodness, it was so tedious. That is called, and then they finally kind of fixed it and they called it the classic. And sometimes you'd have to go to the classic app, and sometimes it was the healthcare.gov app, but it's still the foundation. It's still the chassis of healthcare.gov is that original classic app where it's one question at a time. So if you go to the redirect, it's not bad. It's not a problem. It's just that it's an antiquated system and it's an old system trying to talk to Health Sherpa. And it's trying to talk to Health Sherpa during open enrollment when millions of people are trying to talk to healthcare.gov. The healthcare.gov people, right? For everybody who calls them and tries to enroll, people on healthcare doing their own, everybody who's in Health Sherpa. So it will sometimes just glitch. It just won't get the information back and forth, and you'll have to do the redirect. And honestly, if you get that error that says we're unable to submit this application, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but when you get that, it's faster to just hit the redirect and just redo the app. And you'll see like it's missing information, and sometimes it'll have wrong information and you're like, oh, okay. So there is times to do healthcare.gov, the redirect. And if you need to change the primary person, social security or date of birth. So Donna, tell me again why we need to use the redirect. If you need to change the primary person's birthday or social security number, you have to do the redirect. Or if there's a glitch, I can tell you that will actually help you. If there's a glitch, just ignore it and go right to healthcare.gov. Brian, I know I have touched on this in the past, but I just finished a $9,000 course. Wow, what a painful waste of your paid training, updates, and your own tricks. I need to purchase and consume the content, thanks. My paid training, so my training, and I was trying to determine if I was going to do this. I'm going to do because it's the last 2 weeks before open enrollment. So I'm going to give one huge coupon it's only going to be good for like 2 days. So anybody watching now and tomorrow, you can use it. I'm going to give you 85% off. Like, I really want people to take this class. If you were thinking about it, this is your time to do it, because I don't always do this, but I really want you to get it, to understand it. So I'm doing a one-time coupon. And like I said, it will be 80% off. and it's gonna be big. It's courses that are gonna walk you through this. They walk you through the how, the why, the details, and then I also update things. So if you buy the course and I update something like the CMS rules, which I still have to make that class, but you will get that free. That's just added in there. So you can take all the courses, some of the courses, and particularly a few of them. My courses are similar to this, where I'm talking on the screen, but they're also showing you. I walk you through things through PowerPoints or walking through applications. So it's showing you so you can see. I'm not just talking. I show you what I'm talking about. So those of you who want it, I will put that in the email when I send it out. The link and the course and the coupon code. So is there anybody who doesn't get the email? Or if you misspelled the client's name, can it be changed in Health Sherpa? Yes. Yep. We should all buy the course. Yeah, thanks, Brian. I agree, you should all buy the course. So Mike doesn't get my emails, so okay, I'm gonna try and give me a second and I will copy and paste the link so that you can get it. And it's gonna be expired basically Saturday, so 2 days. Here is the coupon. I think keeps changing. Okay. Coupon is ACA training, like that. ACA and T are capital, and training is small. And so that one's active right now. And then the link to get to my website for my training, I will put that in there as well. And for the people who are watching on YouTube, I will put that, it will be in there in the comments. So if you didn't see it, just look in the comments. People who watch YouTube, they don't get to see any of this stuff, so. All right, so there's the coupon and the link. The primary course is Health Sherpa. I don't do state exchanges. I do still talk about it. And like I said, you can buy the classes individual and you'll kind of see where some of that is that applies to state exchanges. That is, again, next year's plan is to have state exchanges just one-up classes so people can just go in there from experts. Unfortunately, it's open enrollment and everybody is kind of scrambling, and there's no expert for the 2 new state exchanges. So we're going to let people figure that out, and hopefully they'll be experts by the end of open enrollment and come on and kind of show us how to do this. Thank you again, everybody. We have one more training next week. Talking about the potluck is what I called it. So this is the last time. If you have any questions, this is your time to ask. If you have a question, I'm sure somebody else has it. We're going to talk about how to, if drug isn't on a formulary, ways to touch your client throughout the year. How do you keep saying during OEP? Somebody asked me that, so I'll tell you what I do. And I'd like to know what other people do during OEP. What advice do you give your clients? Things like that. So next time, potluck. Thank you very much, everybody. So much appreciated how much that you guys check in every week. And those who don't get the, yes, lifetime access, Joseph. Those who don't get my email, if you want to put your email in here, I will make sure you're on the email list. Because every time I'm done with the class, I send out the YouTube link so that you can rewatch this. And I'm gonna hit stop recording.